53 years after importing slaves became illegal in America, a ship called the Clotilda smuggled 110 people from Africa through the Mobile River. It's the last known American slave ship, and for years, people thought it had been destroyed. But today, descendants of that journey are commemorating its discovery. What emotional significance does the Clotilda have for you?
Well, I am a direct descendant of Charlie Lewis. Charlie Lewis was one of the survivors of the Clotilda. It gives me chills thinking about the voyage that they went through coming over. I imagine myself being on there. That's the only thing that I can think about that ship is that he actually survived that voyage.
Ben Raines spearheaded an expedition that ultimately led to finding the Clotilda. And he showed me the route the ship took to avoid getting caught.
The people had been kept in the hold this whole voyage, 2 months, stacked up in there, 110 people in the belly of a 90-foot-long ship. So they couldn't lay down, it was really torturous.
Slavery was abolished just 5 years after Joycelyn's ancestors got to America. But they had no way of going home, so they created Africatown. And that's where she still lives today.
Africatown is a story of resilience. These people were brought here, abandoned, had to buy the land they lived on. They built a community where they spoke their native African tongue. They made a school where they taught their traditional methods. They farmed in African style.
Finding the Clotilda is deeply personal and transformative for this community. But it's also much bigger than that.
A lot of people need to understand what this means in terms of the history of the enterprise of slavery and the human suffering that is connected to that.
What is the symbolic importance of finding the Clotilda?
There's this thing about African American history and this traumatic experience that folks want to hide. They don't want it discovered. They want to forget about it.
The significance of finding Clotilda is absolutely monumental. We are resurrecting the voices of those people that was on this vessel. We are restoring memory and restoring cultural heritage, particularly to the people of Africatown, the descendant communities.
For a lot of Black Americans, you can only go so far back charting your ancestry until things start to become a mystery. And that's a testament to the horrors of slavery. But for people like Joycelyn, the Clotilda represents a type of accountability that's rare in America. What does it mean to you that the Clotilda has been found?
The people who brought us over, thinking that they got away with it after 159 years, thinking that, hey, they're not going to ever find this ship. So that's the relief that I have that they found it, because they thought that this day would never come.